Alrighty, guys. So I wanted to actually talk about Deepwoken and the problem with the relics and the crafting system that the devs have been pushing for the last like 4 updates. So as you all know, Agamatsu primarily has been the main. He has been the one who's been campaigning and saying that the relics, implementing relics, implementing crafting. I think that he, from what he said and what is I've seen, he has been the main pusher of this sort of game design, I guess. My problem with relics, right? My first main gripe with them is that players are like genuinely used to having the ability to just like go out and get the thing just by making a build. They don't have to go grind a specific boss for 4 hours to get one equipment that is extremely broken. Players are like, especially, older players are used to like getting stuff like immediately, like waiter, more slop, please. But like in a way, that's kind of how Deepwoken has been for like the past couple of months, or not past couple of months, past couple of like nearly a year. So when you rip that away, you just see that players feel alienated. Like you turn your entire player base against you when you do that. As you can see from the player count, people are just choosing not to play the game, and I don't blame them for it. The game is in a terrible state. It's not fair, and like especially in the case of Mantle of Enmity, it aggravates the divide between solo players and players who are gonna play in a group. Right? It's not even possible to do Enmity solo. Theoretically, you can do Titus solo, but Enmity, literally, you cannot start Enmity without 5 people. And I mean, you could have 5 alt accounts. Nobody has 5 alt accounts though, so that's kind of like a moot point. You literally can't get to some of these relics solo. Like it is physically impossible. And like Elder Prima, you can start Elder Prima, but like you're not gonna be able to kill him. He has way too much health. He's intended as a raid boss, which that's besides the point. Relic equipment also happens to be extraordinarily broken, and at the cost of like literally nothing. But the relic equipment is just broken. Like Mantle of Enmity, I've never seen a Silent Heart build has Silent Heart heavy without Mantle of Enmity. That's just how much it changes the game. It's like a mandatory talent. It's a mandatory equipment for Silent Heart heavy. I don't think that's good game design. I really don't. I don't think that relic equipment being the way it is good game design, where you can slap it on any build with 0 requirement. You can just put it on there and go. Duke Relic is another example of this. Extremely strong. Really broken on Silent Heart and attunementless builds. Really shouldn't be the way it is. Titus equipment is just a flat buff to your vent. It just makes your vent do 45 damage, and I don't know why. That's like a whole M1. You land an M1 for free when you hit the G key. Nice job. It makes your vent twice as slow. It's still like unreactable. You're not gonna react to that vent because the animation isn't very good either. Then here's my next point, right? Crafting recipes, right? Crafting recipes. Whole problem with them. All they do is reuse the already in-game mechanics, right? So like you have to go fight Ferryman 40 times to get an RNG armor piece drop. Then you have to go fight Duke 40 times to get the RNG armor piece drop, and then you need 2 of them for some of the stuff, and then you have to do world events to get some of this stuff. It's like it's completely pointless. Like they're just trying to force people to play their really badly designed world events. World events are literally, aside from Carnival of Hearts, which nobody plays, world events are follow the world event around with ships and shoot it with cannons for like forever. And I mean, I don't think that's good game design, and I don't think that that's something that should be in the game. The most unforgivable part about this whole crafting system is definitely how they lock the Gale Thunder dual attunement talent behind multiple RNG drops for a boss, right? instead of just making it like a 60-60 Thunder Gale talent. Like, or like maybe even higher. You can have it 80-80 instead of having it locked behind an R. I'd rather have that, because then it's obtainable for most people. You can go ahead and get it. I think 60-60 is fine though, because, you know, builds and whatever, you can do weird dual attunement stuff if you do that. Without, you know, forcing people to go grind for an armor set. By the way, the recs for the specialist set are 30 Gale, 30 Thunder. So 60 would be doubling that, but also making it so you don't need to have the shitty equipment equipped. So whatever. Crafting with the RNG drops, the devs specifically said that they weren't going to do it. Like, they said that they felt like it was a slog, and they didn't want to make it, you know, slop like that, where you just sit farming a boss over and over and over again to get a 1% drop. Like, they said that they weren't going to do that, and now that they've done it, it's just kind of bad. And I mean, the relic rate equipment as well, right? I want to move back to that with like the slop RNG drops. It's super rare. It like the relic rate equipment is rare. Most people realistically don't have the time to play the game for I haven't gotten a single mantle. I haven't gotten a single Titus equipment. I don't have any. You notice if you look at my videos, not a single mantle of enmity. That's because I've never done enmity, because I'm a solo player. I don't play with a group of people on Deepwoken. I don't do that. I don't play with a giant group of people, and I don't do enmity. So I literally can't start enmity solo, so I can't do it. I've beaten Titus before because I wanted like Blight Surger and stuff to try out the new oath. I literally had to get together a group of people and just go in random. But that's besides the point. But I wanted to just point out suggestions on how to fix this system. So realistically, the relics, they're unsalvageable. You have to remove the actual relic items from the game. I mean, this sounds crazy, but genuinely, they shouldn't have ever been added. The way that they are implemented is just so bad. Instead, right, I think that they should implement oath evolutions for those talents. And what I mean by that is, you know how they have the oathless rec for Soul Beam, right? How they were doing that with the Soul Beam, oathless, Course of Souls, right? You need all that to be able to use the Course of Souls mantra, which is, or like whatever, the Soul Beam mantra. It's a really good, strong mantra, high requirement, cool stuff like that. I was thinking that maybe they could implement something like that for other oaths. So obviously for like the Duke relic or something, because, you know, Duke is, from what it looks like, an oathless user with Gale, right? If you got 100 Gale and oathless, you could unlock the Whistling Periapt Whistle Guard talent, right? For the Titus equipment, like the Ground Slam, you could get Blight Surger with 100 strength. Just stuff like that incentivizes high investment. This is already meshing with the devs' vision for the game, with high investment talents and high investment stuff where you specifically spec into something to get that. Mantle of Enmity could be 100 strength Star Kindred, right? And really encourage those high investment builds where you're going high strength post shrine to get your Mantle of Enmity thing. And also it would keep it away from other, like, just being able to just throw it onto any random build, right? It would allow people to make cool builds without just, you know, throwing a relic on it. Oh, my flame mage now has a whistling periapt, so after I hit my 3 things, or my shadow mage has a whistling periapt, so when I hit shadow gun I get my thing. Like, that doesn't make sense. There's no, it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have ever been like that. Oh, my Silent Heart has Mantle of Enmity. No, just remove that. It's bad game design. People don't enjoy playing it. People don't enjoy playing against it. People really don't like grinding for it. If they make it like, you know, oath, and that also opens up the path for new oath evolutions, right? Not just, you know, Mantle of Enmity and redoing the relics into the oath evolution things. It also opens the path for, you know, putting ones for high charisma vision shaper or high agility jetstriker, or just any of these things where you unlock an extra talent when you go a certain amount of the investment. It encourages high investment without, you know, forcing people into just grinding a boss for 6 hours to get a 0.01% drop rate equipment that just completely changes how some builds are played. Like, please tell me when the last time you saw a Silent Heart Heavy, like a good Silent Heart Heavy, that wasn't using Mantle of Enmity. Because the answer is never. They all use it because it's broken, and it shouldn't be a viable option. You shouldn't be able to take things and relics and just put them on any build. And I mean, I don't know. I know that removing like the relics is probably not even going to happen because the devs don't want to do anything. They're hell bent on killing their game, right? The relic equipment just shouldn't exist in general. It just shouldn't exist. Relic weapons, on the other hand, I think relic weapons have been handled rather well. I mean, aside from launch, Dormant Splinter on launch, that was absurd. That was literally absurd. Where they waited like 3 weeks until it was actually obtainable. They said it was obtainable the whole time, but we all know. Dormant Splinter has been handled very well. I think that the way they did Dormant Splinter, like the recent one, the bloodrend light weapon, I think it's handled really well. It's not like you have to go around, you know, grinding, grabbing like 20 boss drops. It's really simple. You just talk to someone, then you get something else, have the Dormant Splinter, and you just craft it in the Cold Forge. It's easy. It's, you know, it expands on the lore. It's cool. Same with the Umbrite Witherblade. The Umbrite Witherblade is also a cool one, although there's no lore surrounding that. It's just a weapon. And I think that they can open up more possibilities with more stuff in the future with Dormant Splinter and with other relic weapons. I think that relic weapons are fine that you craft into something. I do not think relic equipment should ever exist. It is flawed fundamentally because it gives people stuff that they shouldn't have. You don't have to invest into it at all. And anyway, that's my little real rant on relic equipment in Deepwoken. Anyway, like the video, subscribe if you agree, leave a comment if you don't. Anyway, see y'all in the next one.